Welcome to the Moonlight Shorts. This is the official audio home for the fiction of author Misty Hamilton Smith and the stories of Ink, Root, and Moonlight. From the surreal to the gritty, these tales explore every genre. Today's story is Too Late to Breathe, a story of a world where the very air has turned against the living and the heavy silence of a town left hollow by what remains. The world had reached a state of total neutrality, and it wasn't just the light that had failed. Color itself had been bled out of the landscape, the red of the brick buildings dulled into slate. The green of the weeds turned the color of bone and ash. Even the rust had stopped trying. It was a monochromatic dreamscape, where nothing stood out and nothing felt real. The whole of it flattened into a single, exhausted tone. Harlan moved past a row of cars parked along the curb, their windshields coated in a thick velvet of dust, their bodies sitting low and heavy like sleeping beasts made of lead. There were no reflections, no movement, only the slow collapse of surfaces that had once carried light. The sky above was a flat expanse of charcoal with no depth, no gradient, no promise of anything beyond itself. And walking through it felt like walking through a photograph left too long in the sun. The kind that fades until the faces disappear and the background becomes guesswork. The old pharmacy wall stopped him. The paint was peeling in long, brittle strips, the mural beneath stripped of whatever it had once tried to be. A sunset, maybe, reduced now to a jagged mess of soot and silver that didn't ask for interpretation. Someone had used a heavy hand across the center of it. Too late to breathe. The words were the only sharp thing left in town. Everything else had softened at the edges, and the silence had gone so heavy it carried a hum, as though the world were holding its breath and had simply forgotten the mechanics of release. Every time Harlan took a step, the crunch of gravel sounded like a gunshot, and his own breathing felt intrusive, a rhythmic reminder that something in this place was still moving when everything else had decided to stop. He looked down at his hands and found them the same shade of grey as the pavement beneath him. He was becoming part of the landscape, just another relic of a life that used to make sense. And the buildings around him seemed to be doing the same, their rooflines sagging, their windows gone slack, even the weeds curling inward like they had grown tired of the effort of reaching for anything at all. There were more words beneath the warning, but they had already begun to fade, and he didn't stay to read them. He kept moving through the ash, while the twilight closed above him like a wound, the air thinning in that quiet, undramatic way that only announces itself when you've already been breathing less for a while. Just enough to make you notice, and just enough to make you wonder if breath had been quietly removed from the list of necessities. The old diner sat with its sign half swallowed by rust, and through the window the booths were still there. Cushions split open, stuffing gone flat, a menu lying face down on the counter with its pages stuck together by time. Harlan didn't go in because he didn't need to. The memory of warmth had already been scraped out of that place long before he arrived. The wind shifted, not enough to move anything, but enough to confirm the air still had direction, and he adjusted the strap on his pack and kept walking. The shelter was 3 blocks away, but distance had become a suggestion out here. Landmarks no longer offering reassurance, the world gone quiet in a way that felt permanent rather than passing. There was no one to speak to, and even if there had been, words didn't carry in this kind of atmosphere. They dropped straight to the ground and stayed there, like everything else. You have been listening to an original story by Misty Hamilton Smith. This piece was originally published on the Ink, Root, and Moonlight blog. To read the written version, or to support the author, please follow the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening.